4:25 p.m. Eastern, Kansas City Chiefs 3-1, 2-0 on the road at the Minnesota Vikings 1-3, 0-2 at home. We're at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's get into the line history here for this one. The total opens up at 51.5 at most books. What did it open up here? Opened up 52 here at Pinnacle, and is now at 53. So we have a total that is climbing. Let's get into the spread here for this one. We are sitting at 5 right now at Pinnacle. It opened up at 5, so we've had an 11-cent move towards the Vikings. There are some 4.5. So let me see if there are any legit books with 4.5. Bovada hanging a 4.5. So that's it. So it's just Bovada. But it seems like the market is moving in that direction. And then let's get into the cash flow for this one. Sorry, let me move over here and get this up for Chiefs Vikings. We have on the spread 22% of the tickets and 48% of the cash on the Vikings. Then we have 6% of the tickets and 15% of the cash on the under, the over being hammered here. The Chiefs come in off a tough 23-20 victory at the Jets on Sunday night. Patrick Mahomes was not good, but he did enough to secure the victory. It's just like the Eagles. I don't want to fade these teams after they look bad. It's just not something that appeals to me at all. He looked really bad. And when we talk about when did you want to back the Chiefs? Like, we were all over them against the Bears because they were motivated after those two really ugly games where their offense looked terrible. And here he is coming off at 18 of 30 for 203 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. Now, he did break Dan Marino's record through his 200 touchdown, his 84th game. Marino did an 89. Kelsey caught 6 passes for 60 yards. With all the stuff going on with him right now, I don't know how much I want to count on him. Pacheco was a star, though. I mean, he's really showing out right now. 20 carries for 115 yards and a touchdown, caught 3 passes for 43 yards. And, 0-4 in the red zone at the Jets. That means they're going to be locked in. The defense allowed Zach Wilson to move the ball against them, and they got pressure on him, but the ball was being moved heavily against them. The Vikings come in off a 21-13 win at Carolina. Their offense did very little, but their defense stepped up and got them the win. The Vikes only had 265 total yards, 14 first downs, and were 1-8 on third down. I'm surprised. I think it's a bias here that this total is where it is. It's a vividness bias here. Now, if the reason why I'm not already on the under is because obviously the recency bias would make you think that the under is the look, because we just saw both teams struggle to score. Alexander Madison ran 17 times for 95 yards. He finally had a good game. Cam Akers made his Vikings debut. That was important for the squad. He ran 5 times for 40 yards, 2 catches for 11. The defense looked much stronger. I mean, they held the Panthers to 232 yards, but they're the Panthers. They held them to 0-2 in the red zone. The big difference here with that, some of the pressure was taken off of Danielle Hunter. Finally, Marcus Davenport was playing, and Harrison Smith was all over this field. I mean, he was an absolute monster. As a team, they finished with 5 sacks and 6 quarterback hits. Take it away for us here, Troy. Chiefs, Vikings.
God, I want to take the number I want to take this 5.5 with the Vikings. I know that you don't want to fade the Chiefs after what they put out there, but I think that they all these teams that play against the Bears, they come back down to earth. The Packers lose in week 2. The Chiefs with the non-cover probably should have lost that game yesterday. At certain points, I thought they definitely were going to lose that game. Who was the other team that the Bears played in week 3? Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay come out against the Philadelphia Eagles and don't cover. So I think, oh man, that's tough. That's tough. My mind's kind of racing right now, but this is another easy defensive opponent for the Chiefs. We saw what they were able to do against the Chicago Bears. I trust Flores way more than I trust anybody in Chicago to defend anything, but this blitz that Flores is running, just blitzing out of, just nonstop blitz, basically every down. Chiefs defense, I think, is a little bit overrated. They had the Bears, the Jags, the Lions. People are talking so highly of that unit. I'm not really that high on it. This total is a little bit high. Talking this out in real time is making me want the over, but now that 53, it's looking pretty big. I know totals that high typically go under. This Vikings defense is dreadful. 6 high, so we talked about I don't know if it's a common trend this year or what's going on, but Yeah, the worst completion rate in the NFL history is the Broncos, and sixth in NFL history is the Vikings at this point. But offensively, the Vikings have been successful, and they do what I like teams to do. They run play action on 26% of their pass attempts. They turn a middle of the pack offensive line at best into one of the highest rated offensive NFL, one of the highest rated lines in the NFL. Pass block fourth, run block seventh. That just kind of goes to show you and why I'm preaching so heavily on this. I find it so interesting that all these good offenses that teams have performed well on offense despite the turnovers for the Vikings, they're running play action. They're throwing the ball downfield. I'm not going to be involved in this game, Jimmy. I'm just trying to give some opinions on it.
I can understand people wanting the Vikings at this number and the Chiefs back-to-back road games, but it's the under I want. And Dennis saying he loves the under here as well. This I mean, really staying away from them, but this might be a first half and full game under for me because there could be some hijinks in the last few minutes of this game that would be concerning here. It won't happen if the Chiefs are ahead, comfortably. Then, when they're ahead comfortably, the second halves go under. So, but if it's too much, then, the back door opens up a little bit just for the total going over, not for the spread being covered. But I like the under here, and I don't see why this would stop going up. So I think that we could see a 53.5. I really do. The public's all over this over.
Yeah, the over makes a ton of sense, and this total's too high. I mean, this is an under. I'm starting to lean there with you, man.
But I certainly need to show some sign of buyback, and there will be a sign, and I don't want to wait too long. And maybe 53 is the right number. DG, have you already moved on the 53? I'd like to know that, but I think that the run game will be important, very important for both sides. When you play the Chiefs, the most important thing is that you got to keep the offense off the field as long as possible. You have to. You have to. If they're on the field all game, then you're screwed because your defense will just break down. AOD thinks this one goes over 34-24 for 58. And, AOD, a lot of people agree with you. 94% of the tickets are on the over right now and 85% of the cash. I think that's a really nice position to be in for the under. So I'm going to be watching it very, very, very closely. Maybe I should just get in on it tonight. I'll certainly be looking at it nonstop over and over and over again.